This is the term, the Buddhist term for what is generally understood as meditation. Hmm? So we translate this word, Bhavana, into quite a few words that we can use. Meditation, but maybe a more proper, appropriate word in English would be mental culture. Hmm? The culture of the mind, because the word bhavana comes from the root word, from the verb bhavati. Bhavati means to develop. So bhavana means to develop, to cultivate, to culture. Hmm? And so it refers to the culturing of the mind, development of the mind. Hmm? Now, how to culture the mind? Hmm? Before we talk about how to culture the mind, let us talk what, the classification, what bhavana is about, the different kinds of bhavana. Hmm? Basically, we will talk about two kinds. Hmm? All the meditation techniques, whether it be Buddhist or non-Buddhist techniques, we can classify them into two. Hmm? What are they? Samatha and? Very good. We can classify all meditation methods into two. One is samatha or samadhi. Sometimes it is also called samadhi bhavana. Hmm? And the other one is vipassana. Hmm? Samatha or samadhi meditation is called, we refer that as a tranquil meditation. Tranquil. Tranquil means calm, calmness. Hmm? Calmness. Whereas vipassana is insight. Hmm? Insight. Insight here refers to the penetration, how to develop one's mind to see the true nature of things. True nature of things here refers to basically the true nature of ourselves, the true nature of mind and body. Hmm? Now, for samatha meditation, there are, in the Buddhist tradition, there are at least 40. In the Visuddhimagga, which is a compendium, or it speaks about various meditation techniques, and it lists out 40 different methods of, not 40 different objects, not methods, but 40 different objects, 40 objects of meditation. Hmm? And you can meditate on the Buddha, recollecting the great virtues of the Buddha, the Dhamma, his teachings. You know, when you recite those stanzas on salutation to the Buddha, Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijja Charana Sampanno, and so on. Can you remember them? Did you learn that by heart? Yes, it's good to learn that, because that is how the Buddha, the fame and the good name of the Buddha spread far and wide in India at that time, during the time of the Buddha. And people came to know about him. This was how people introduced him. Do you know who the Buddha? Who is that man? Then he says, oh, that's the Bhagavan. He's an Arahant. Not only an Arahant, he is a Samma Sambuddho. Samma Sambuddha. And then they start describing him. He is Vidya Charana Sampanno. Sugato Loka Vidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Sattha Deva Manusanam Buddho Bhagavan. This is how we have the stanzas have been collected in this manner. This is actually the way how people came to know him. Just like when you come to know of somebody and some monk that you know, or you introduce him, or you know he is such a person, no? And you introduce. Like you can introduce, oh, that monk, he was a lawyer and he was annoying. Or not only a lawyer, he has given up his law. Now he is doing some other thing. So introduce, this is how he's being introduced. And people came to know him in that manner. So, in fact, what you recite as Itipiso Bhagava and so on, they are actually the qualities. They are the qualities of the Buddha. So when you recollect the qualities of the Buddha as an Arahant, as one who is free from greed, hatred, delusion, Samma Sambuddho, one who is fully enlightened and one who has become enlightened through his own efforts. Vijja Charana Sampanno, he is endowed with knowledge and conduct. Endowed with knowledge and conduct means whatever he preaches, he practices. Whatever he practices, he preaches. No? And there is both knowledge and conduct. So, in this manner, when we recollect these great qualities, we can develop inspiration, we can be inspired, and we can concentrate. And that is one method of developing culturing our mind by thinking of the great qualities, the goodness, the virtues of the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha. Then there are also other objects of meditation. There are different, what you call kasinas. You know kasinas? Kasinas, have you heard of this? Kasina means circle. It means circle. And it is a circular object, and we can develop, we can focus our attention on these different objects. There are different kasinas. There is color kasina, color, and red kasina, blue kasina, yellow kasina. There are different colors. And there are also light kasina, light or fire kasina, bright object. And like if you make a dark room and then one pinhole through the roof, so when the sun comes, the sun will shine. Just one round circle. Or else you can make a box and then put a pinhole there, small hole, and then a bulb inside. Then that bulb will project, from that pinhole will project a circular, so one can contemplate on that light kasina. And then also have water kasina, water. But water kasina not necessarily be a circle object. Water can just, some people can just contemplate on water, and of course the best is when it's a very calm and all around you see a lake. You can contemplate on that water. And also the earth kasina. Earth kasina is where they make a circular object and they put the earthen color. That soil, that earth, brown or reddish earth, no? And then you can contemplate on those things. And these are all samatha methods, objects through which one can develop calmness and tranquility and develop concentration. So those people who wish to develop their other psychic abilities, they concentrate on these objects. And by developing one's meditation on earth kasina, then you can dive down the earth. You can go through the wall. You can walk through the, what do you call, Great Wall of China. Because you contemplate on earth. And when your mind is concentrated, then you tell, you are also earth element, no? So earth element, that is earth element, no? So let you pass through. And so you can pass through that. Similarly, water element, when you develop your concentration on water, then you can stay in the water like a fish without any diving gears, without any, no need, can stay in the water. And of course, not with these ropes, and otherwise the fish will see, oh, very nice saffron fish. Then on wind kasina, when you contemplate on wind kasina, you can fly like wind. And those who have mastered this kasina, sometimes they can jump from the cliff top, and as soon as they charm the cliff top, then they develop their concentration on the wind. Then they fly like the wind to the other side of the mountain. That's why you see that Chinese, what is this, Kung Fu, and that when I was young, I like to watch that comics, fly up in the roof. All that actually on kasina. And sometimes they can create storm. Just by their concentration, they can create storm. Or fire kasina, those who develop on fire kasina, and they contemplate on fire, then they can burn things. Very dangerous, Sometimes where you look, the thing burn. If you cannot control, wherever you look, whatever you look, burn. And the heat becomes so strong the heat becomes so strong that no need gun, no need bullet, just finger, just point up there. And yogis, those yogis who develop this kasina, fire kasin, they have so much energy that when the bird come, fly, and excrete in their head, they get angry, they just take their hand, point the bird fall down. Yes. And there are yogis like that, who have developed this power, just this point only. That's right. That's why very dangerous. So these are, if you do not know how to use it, and if you have not developed that all this, you have to develop some other qualities. That's why, you see, these kasinas should not be developed individually. If you have no strong concentration and you do not have balanced mind, then you should not learn these things. And after you have developed certain good qualities, then you can develop and then you can help other people. And there is one, we have heard of this one story, this one monk, and in Thailand, Lompo Obasi, he developed his fire kasina, and every day he will have something to burn. He burns, no? So one day, this one man, and Chinese man came and offered him. After actually this Lompo Obasi was, he has developed his mind, he has purified his mind to a great extent, and so he has almost perfected this fire kasin and developed his concentration. So he was able to help many people too. So this one person was after got some help, and then he came to repay. So he brought with him some gold chain, no, out of to give to this monk. And then what the monk did was, to the gold chain, he just took there and put it in the fire and burned. And then this man, immediately in his mind, he says, "Why you do that?" Actually, he was not happy. He said, I wasted these things, If I knew you wanted to burn, I should not have given you. Then Lompo Obasi was able to read his mind also. Then Lompo Obasi told him, "Never mind. You go back, you will find the gold." And then, truly, he went back. He went back home, and on his bed he found the gold chain there. And so there are this kind of stories there. Still there are monks, playing. Some monks are playing with this kasin. And one monk has developed the one Thai monk has gone to Rishikesh, Rishikesh, near the Himalaya mountains in India. And there are a lot of yogis there. And most of those yogis, they develop their psychic powers. And once a year, they will have a big festival. And they will show their powers. Do you know about this? They will show their powers, They will show who is the most powerful, So this Thai monk, Lompo Kassapa, I think, and he's still around. He's now in the northern Thailand. And he was, at that time, he was there in India. So he also challenged them, challenged the Hindu yogis, And so this one yogi once, they will put up fire, no? And they will create fire, because through the fire casino they will create fire. Then this monk, he create water and put out the fire. No? He create water and put out the fire. So in this way, he lost. And in the ancient times, if the teacher if you can show that you have greater power, then the person who loses will become your disciple. They will have whatever you ask them to do, they have to do for you. They have to give up all their disciples will become your disciples. All their followers will become your followers. Okay, see? That is the system, Maybe today also they maintain in certain places. And a lot of stories on how people who develop this. And so, of course, many people who do not know these things, they think like fairy tale. How can fly and how can... it is possible. All these things are possible through kasinas, And in the near future, when there's no more fuel and very difficult to fly, all the hijacking and all that, so monks have to learn all these techniques, So we can go from place to place, zoom, 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 and actually, one of the things that brought me to meditation was when I was, I think, in my sixth form. I think I was reading one book, and very interested when I started to read that book of how this man started to fly, And so from that time onwards, the term meditation came to my mind, how to fly. And then I started to read Lobsang Rampa book, how to operate third eye. And then anyway, there are many more objects on Kasina meditation. And there are some good teachers in Thailand. Still there are teachers on this, on Kasina. And then apart from these, there are also meditation on the different parts, the decomposition of the body, cemetery contemplation. Cemetery contemplation. And see how the body decomposes, when the different stages of decomposition of the body. You know why? You know why people contemplate on this? Why? Yes, to overcome attachment, strong attachment to the body, because we do not realize the nature of this body. Because we cannot see the true nature of this body, we cling to this body. Because of our clinging to the body, we cling to this body so much. That's why there's so much fear in our mind. Fear of dying. We really fear of death and fear of losing any little bit of the body. Oh, very afraid. So to overcome this fear, and to meditate on corpse, 2-3 days dead, you can see become blue, and then after that become swollen blue. Then after that, all the water fluid come out. Have you seen water fluid come out from the ear, nose, all the holes, all fluid come out, ooze up, and then burst open, worms come up. Oh, different stages, until eventually you see only skeletons. There is still a place where you can go to see, because uh, under tight governmental laws and hygienic health department, you will not be able to see dead bodies lying on the cremation ground like that so easily. Mm. Although in certain countries, I know in certain meditation center, I know when I was in Sri Lanka, I have seen in one meditation center where in order to meditate this, because they cannot get any dead bodies, so they have agreed when one monk is become very old, about to die, so they told that monk, you can donate us the body, and then of course must ask his permission, no? Otherwise he come and disturb. And so obviously he must have given his permission. And so they took that body and they allowed. They compose, and then after that they burn, and then they use the bones. They use the bones to contemplate. In Indonesia, there is a place in Bali. There is one place called Kintamani. It is a volcanic area. Formerly, there was a volcano there. You have to sit in the boat, in the sampan, and then about 45 minutes or so. And then you land in this place. There are some native people living there, only about 500 families or so. And when they die, and when those people die of natural death, they will take the body and just put it on the ground, on a certain part. They have certain part of the ground, and allow the body to rot. But one thing is very strange is that there's no smell, absolutely no smell. So that is what is bringing in a lot of tourists there. You see? So when we heard about this, and I heard about this a few years back, so I also say, come, let's go. And these people tell us, make sure you eat first before you go. Otherwise, you come back, you cannot eat. So we had a good lunch and went there. And then when we arrived there, we went to see. And actually can see it's somewhat covered a little bit of, they have used some bamboo sticks just to protect, to cover it so that the dogs don't come and pull the body to pieces, no? Meat. And so I went nearby. I went close and I saw, some face, black, blue, black, certain parts of the face decomposing. And from far you can see some parts skull, some parts bones. And then I want to verify whether it smells or not. So I went near. And then suddenly I felt my leg, something like very soft, And what is that? Look inside there, and I thought it was, it was just a piece of, flesh, this dog's flesh, But I look at it again, and, I was pointed out, it's actually a part of a human, thigh and rotted, flesh. Really no smell. And no, the thing is this, that there are some plants, there are some trees that has the potential, has the ability to absorb the smell. There are 2-3 plants, certain kind of plant growing there. So that is how this place became very well known. So next time you go to Indonesia, you can go there. If you want to do that contemplation. So there are all these together I cannot remember, I cannot give you all the 40, but you can check up with the books what are all the 40 objects for. But these, all these different objects, 40 objects, they actually, a good meditation master, a skillful meditation master will know what objects are good for what kind of people, according to their temperament, according to their nature. No? So they don't prescribe one for everybody. See? So they have, these are the objects for samatha methods. No? And because during the time of the Buddha, although they have prescribed certain methods for the monks, so the monks have been meditating. And this one monk, he meditated, and he had no results. All the other had results, and so able to concentrate and develop their first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, or the different stages of concentration. But this one cannot develop his concentration. So he went to the Buddha. And then the Buddha, immediately when he went to the Buddha saw. Buddha was able to see. When the Buddha focused his attention to that person, Buddha saw that this man, this monk, he had been a goldsmith. In many births, in many lifetimes, he had been a goldsmith. So, what the Buddha did was, Buddha gave him one flower, lotus flower made of gold. Oh, he was very happy. He clinged to that, he was so happy. And then he looked at it very, observe it very carefully, because gold, he has been dealing with gold, you see. So anything that is gold will attract his attention. He has affinity towards gold. So he looked at that gold. And after looking at that, he sees a lotus flower. Then he sees, he observes how the petals start opening and then falling down one by one. Through his concentration, when he contemplates on that lotus flower, gold, the gold material attracted his attention, so he looked at it. Then he began to contemplate on the lotus, the flower. Then in his mind he saw how the lotus flower withers away. Then he saw the impermanent nature. He saw how the lotus subject, the flower withering, and see the impermanent nature of things. And he realized. Then he gained his concentration and was able to penetrate, to gain his insight into true nature of things. So that is how, because the Buddha being all enlightened, the Buddha had that ability to give different objects to different people. And that is a skillful, as a skillful kamatana. And so all these different methods are different objects, they come under samatha. And then vipassana is actually from samatha you can change, you can turn your attention to vipassana. You see, when your mind is concentrated, after you have developed certain stage of concentration, then you can turn and observe, turn your attention and observe mind and body, observe mental and physical processes taking place in the body. When you are observing that, this is how you turn from the samatha or samadhi to vipassana. Vipassana is the word vipassana. Pasana comes from the word pasati. The word pasati means to see, to observe. And we, the prefix we, implies seeing in a special manner, in a special way. So you see it in a special way. How do you see it special way? By focusing your attention. So really, when you talk about vipassana, you don't really do vipassana immediately only when your mind, when you have been able to calm down your mind, that you can see and observe. When the mind is calm, then can observe. Now, painful sensations. Now, you see, when you develop samatha or samadhi, you feel very calm, very tranquil, very happy. And if you are not very alert, then you might go to sleep. You can very easily cling to the calmness. You feel very calm. Oh, very nice. And the next moment you go to sleep. No? Calmness. Or you just feel calm, and then after that, if you do not know how to turn your attention, then your mind goes to, First, you watch the body. You watch your breath, the breath of the body. And then that breath goes away. Right? You cannot observe the breath. The breath becomes very subtle, no more. And then what arises is you become more aware of the feelings, sensations. You observe the feeling, observe the sensation. Keep on observing it. Watch the sensation. Continuously watch it rise and fall, go away. Then the sensation also go away. Feeling also go away. Then the mind began to watch then the mind become very clear. You can watch your thoughts. Thoughts. You can see whatever thought that arises in your mind becomes clear. Like that, one by one. Then, if you can watch your thoughts, then these thoughts also eventually go away. No thoughts. To the mind, no thoughts. Clear mind become clear. Then Dhamma arise. Dhamma, knowledge, Dhamma arise. And so that Dhamma, when you watch Dhamma, you are watching your mind, Dhamma, mind. And so different states. So the first thing is to try to watch one thing and keep on looking at. Don't give up. Oh, little bit of pain. Oh, feel like want to die already. And move so many times, and put your hand, tie up your hand. And those of you who are very restless can ask for some string. We will tie, and yeah, and you want pillow and all sorts of things. No pillow and no. Well, because no point taking your pillow from upstairs because the pillow is very soft. What is your weight? At the most, you sit on it, it becomes like that. No? So, if you want something, you have to make something hard. No? And small thing. Take wood. Hard wood or brick. Yes. After tomorrow we see bricks. No, it's good thing it's old carpet. I better not tell you, otherwise you start cutting the carpet. and something not so hard, not so not so soft. But it's good to try to practice just to sit on the flat also sometimes, unless you have difficulties with your back. If you really have difficulties with the back, then it's all right to find some cushion and raise your body a little bit. And right, so samatha, there are different kinds of samatha, or under samatha we can classify in theory only. In practice, don't try to type what is this. In theory, we can say the concentration can be divided into three. Three kinds of samatha, or what are they? These three, the first is kanika samadhi. Kanika means momentary concentration. Momentary concentration. This momentary concentration you all have, you see. And while you are listening to me, you need concentration. You need to focus and concentrate. And so the process of concentrating from moment to moment, that is kanika samadhi. And upachara samadhi. Upachara samadhi, we call it excess concentration. Excess concentration when your mind is more stable. And when you develop, those of you who develop your anapanasati, breathe in, breathe out, and after a little while, suddenly you feel some stillness, this thing, concentrate and stillness. And now still there are thoughts, sometimes there are thoughts, still there are some painful sensation, but you can bear it because you have this excess concentration. So, in fact, that excess concentration, you can develop further concentration from there, or you can use that state of excess concentration to observe mental and physical phenomena. You see? And that's a good point to observe because your mind is relatively more stable. And the other one is when you develop, when your mind is become slightly more concentrated, and if you can go on developing on just one object, focusing on one object, and until you focus one point, then your mind becomes absorbed in that object. Whatever object that you develop, mind becomes absorbed, so that you get absorption. This absorption, so you see these three different stages, three different kinds of samadhi. In appana, or absorption, again we can define the different stages of absorption. And do you want to know? Very detailed, no? Very, okay, right. We will talk about the different stages, because the different stages of absorption, and because that is what right concentration, when you develop samadhi, full samadhi means with all these concentrations. There are four rupa jhana, or with regards to absorption, there are different levels of absorption. And on the material level, we speak about four, but we can still develop further until four more. So there are altogether eight different levels of absorption. So first, normally, and we usually speak, ordinarily we speak of the four stages of absorption. First, We call it jhana, jhana. And in Pali it is jhana. In Sanskrit it is dhyana. In Chinese it becomes chan, you know. And in Thailand they always say jhan, jhan, jhan. And the Chinese says chan. Then it goes to Japan, it becomes zen. Change, no? So it's nothing but it is jhana, absorption, to train the mind to get into the jhana. And the first jhana, in theory, we divide. There are five mental factors that arises when in the first jhana. Five mental factors arises. There are five mental factors in the first jhana. So if you want to know whether you have attained the first jhana or not, you see whether these five mental factors are there. These five mental factors are, the first one, these five mental factors, when these five things are in your mind, then you can understand that that mind is in the first stage of jhana. And the first one is vitakka. And what is this vitakka? Vitakka means applied thought. What is this applied thought? Now, you practice, we have been practicing breathing in and breathing out, watching the breath, right? In order to watch the breath, we have to apply our mind. We apply our mind. We bring our attention. That's what you call bringing our attention to the breath and focusing our attention on the breath, breathing in and breathing out. That is what you call applied thought, right? Very easy, isn't it? Can you apply your thought to one point? Can? It's only a matter of time, how long you can keep it there. So there is applied thought. Now, the second mental factor is sustained thought. In other words, how you can sustain thought, how you can sustain, how you can keep your thought there. This sustained thought is, there are, you sustain your thought on this one point by discerning, by observing the nature of the breath. Now when you breathe in and you breathe out, right? And then you apply your mind on the breath. Then after that you watch very keenly. You watch this breath with keenness, and you see, in, out, and then you observe. When it is long, short, you know it, you are aware of it. But you just keep your mind keep your attention on one point. Now when you are able to sustain this thought, then this is what we call the second mental factor of sustained thought arises in your mind. You can discern it. Now for those of you who find difficulty in sustaining your thought here, because when you apply here a little while, you apply here, they go away already. So what you do is this. You can do like this. First watch the breath in here. Going in, you just watch the touch, you watch the breath going in here, and then watch how, don't follow totally, but just observe how the beginning, this is, say, it's arbitrary, the arbitrary starting point, the starting point of your breath when you breathe in, right? This is the starting point of your in-breath. In-breath, it appears to start from where you breathe in, and then where is the ending point? Where? Where is the end of your in-breath? Stomach. When you breathe in, the stomach rise or fall? Rise or fall? Sure? See, all different stomachs, right? So you see how you know how to breathe or not? Well, it depends. It depends on the nature of your breath. If it's a short breath, then when you breathe in, you will find that the abdomen, breathe in. At first, it goes down, no? And, no, it goes up. Sorry. It goes up means it comes up, Breathe in. Breathe in. Short. If it's a short breath, you find that it rises. Right? When you breathe out, it falls. This is a short breath. But if you have a long breath, if you breathe in long, what happens is, first, the abdomen rises, right? Slightly, you find it rising, and then after that, as you breathe in further, chest expands, right? The abdomen goes down, no? And as you breathe out, you see, as you breathe out, if it's a long breath, first it comes out, right? First it goes in, right? Then it comes out, because the chest cavity decreases and the abdomen rises. You see? If you do not know, first study the physiology of breathing, and then after that, you observe this. So normally when you breathe in and out, it's a short breath. But the moment you begin to observe your breath, the breath becomes longer. The moment you start observing your breath, you will find the breath becomes longer. If you truly observe it, then it becomes longer. And then this is how your mind becomes calmer. And then you can observe. See, when you observe the breath, short breath or long breath, and then see what happens. And your mind is clear, just observing the breath, long, short, fast, slow. So this is how you can sustain your attention on the breath. Your mind is alert, you are watching, you are sustaining it. And so there is sustained thought. If you can sustain your thought for some time, and then the next mental factor can arise. Another factor arises. What is that? And sometimes you may feel, ants crawling on your face. Or some itchy, some pins and needles, pricking pain, very painful. And sometimes you think there are ants, you start, there are no ants there. Sometimes certain parts are like very sharp pain, and you think, then you move, no more already. Then But that's why you must know these are certain expressions of piti, that, you see, and piti, rapture, and but when you are in this state, your body becomes more upright, and then you have you want to go on some more. You want to go on some more. When you have piti, you will want to go on to meditate. Even though you say, now we turn your attention, open your eyes, and you want to sit on some more. That means we know you have some piti there. Hmm? If you have no piti, after 5 minutes you want to get out. If there is no, if you try after a little while, you feel very restless, you want to get out. But those who can sustain their attention there, then piti will arise. And this piti arises in different forms. Different people, different forms. So don't try to check and don't try to, discuss among yourself. Oh, what happened, huh? Why just now you breathe like that one? Oh, never mind. Sometimes when you are calm, this is also another form of piti. Another form of piti. Deep breath, and then it goes down. Then naturally, feel very good. And that's why, they cling. If you cling to that deep breath, then you go on longer. And sometimes some people piti, they start moving. Moving. They start moving. And so don't cling to that. Don't cling to that. Just observe it. And some people feel piti, very light, very light. Suddenly they find no weight in the body. That also piti. Different expressions of piti. Sometimes tears fall down. And if you do not know it, you get scared. And you, why I cry? And then suddenly, and especially if you are very superstitious, you think, you're bad. I think something bad is going to happen. Some people have that very superstitious mind. And they kind something bad I think will happen, and then so they think that they some bad luck going to happen. Then they feel some more sad, and then real cry, not pity. So this some tears, natural one, pity. When you are happy, when you are happy, when you get some good news, and before you really enjoy it, tears begin to fall, no? The piti expression is just like that, And sometimes you get good news, sometimes good pimples suddenly come up, and then you start laughing. Huh? Huh? Oh, I see. And so, when this arises, just observe it. Don't cling. Don't Don't be frightened. Don't cling to it. Don't say, I want to see it. Why like this? That is clinging. And so just observe it, and then come back again. Come back again to your breath. Still go on developing until happiness comes. Then that happiness also come and go also. And then your mind just one pointed. But in the first jhana, all these 5 mental factors are there. That means still there are thoughts. Some thoughts come up. And this is where in the training of in certain commercialized forms of meditation, what they call alpha training. And this, when you get into the jhana, then your brain pattern, brain wave, they call that the alpha wave. And that alpha wave, usually when you get down to that state, good thoughts will arise, some very good, strong, good thoughts will arise. And you will think that, I want to give
dana, give everything what I will have. I will share everything. I'll go back, and I will take out all the bank account and give to the temple, and that after that, the thought, very strong, good thoughts will arise in your mind like that. And then you get up after that, then forget totally about it, and unless sometimes if the thought, sometimes the thoughts are strong, it comes up again and again, and then you will do that. Because in these states of mind, any good thoughts that arises, they are very strong karma, very strong wholesome karma, you see, wholesome thoughts. And some good thoughts will arise in this mind, and they are continuous to do these things, And the thought can still arise there, first jhana. And then when vitaka vichara goes away, when now after observing, now when you watch, if you carefully watch the breath, after a little while the breath goes away. You cannot feel the breath, you cannot, observe, becomes very subtle, and there is no need for you to apply, there's no need for you to apply, right? And the breath disappears from your, it's very subtle. Don't be afraid, don't think, oh now no more breathing, oh die. Again, if you are, so much fear, people have it. This fear becomes a hindrance to their concentration. And this fear has a reason because of their clinging, strong clinging, And so sometimes the piti, at certain state, only the piti and happiness and one-pointedness. And when these three mental factors are there, we call it the second jhana, the second level of concentration. Second samadhi enter the second jhana. Then, when that, because this piti, when you have piti, you still have some disturbances, no? And still sometimes the tears, and sometimes, the itchy sensation here and there, crawling sensation, pins and needles. So that is still piti. So when that mental factor disappears, you only have happiness and one-pointedness. In the second jhana, a few thoughts may still come, but the third jhana, now no more thoughts in your mind. Thoughts very clear, and happy, happy, and very, sometimes very, very sharp one-pointed vision, that jhana. And sometimes when you get into this third state, by this time you think, sometimes some people will just shout and say, oh, I attained already. And when in the forest monastery, when Ajahn was teaching, Rajanyatra was teaching, and while teaching to all the disciples, talking, and then all the other monks were sitting and meditating, and then one of them got into the piti, and then oh, I know. And he says, I know what you thought, I know. I mean, he has realized it, he thinks, So, then he says, I also am Arahant, he says, I also am Arahant. And then after that, but and Ajahn look at him, and then he go and go and pay his respect. I know. He says, I am also Arahant. Then and Ajahn will take the mic and give it to him, And then he talked. Then, oh, because the mind very calm, and he talk, and then finish. And then his calmness gone already. And now no more alarm. No. Yes. That's the nature of piti. That's the nature of piti. You see? So when people get the joy, they get the first, little bit of joy, they think everything. Another one got into piti, and again he got into piti. So he think everything is, he thinks that he's already enlightened. So he goes about and tells people, oh, enlightenment very easy, just like this only, like you just turn your hand like this only, you can gain enlightenment. That's very just like this, doesn't stand like that only, because he is in that state of mind. Because sometimes the piti can last for quite some time. So it's just like this only. Nibbana is like this only, Then one small monk, one small novice, very naughty, and he will sit beside that monk. And then when all meditate like that, then he got his beads, his beads, then he swing, and then in front of that monk, then I get angry. The monk got angry, and then all the other look and say, just like that. Nibbana is just like that, Now you get angry, Now you just make just like that. Nibbana again, Nibbana. And so he that is personal. He realized that still not yet. and but again, when you get into the state, sometimes the mind, even you cling to that, so sometimes they become a bit deluded, and they are not lying. They don't lie, but sometimes, that's why sometimes they talk in a certain way and say, oh, a very strong view like that, and as if that they have attained something. Actually, sometimes, of course, there are those who bluff one, but there are those who are in this state of mind, and they think, they cling to this state of mind, so they think that they have attained. So they are not lying. It's just that, they have overestimated. That's very easy when you attain to this thing, pasadi, you feel short, and then, and you, little while more, you wait and see after a few hours, no more, and then cannot concentrate anymore. It's just like that. So don't cling to these things, and don't cling to them. Let them go. And when that, because that happiness, third jhana, goes, and then there's only one pointedness. Then when one further develop on the, and then all the other mental factors goes, just one mental factor, one pointedness. Now, at this stage of one pointedness, then the mind can develop, you see, and those who want to develop certain powers, they go from here, from the fourth jhana, they develop, and others who want to turn their mind to vipassana, from this one-pointedness, they will turn, and they will turn their attention, one-pointedness, they turn their attention to their mind and body, mental and physical processes. So anything, because the mind now is, very sharp, just one, there are no other disturbances. So of course, it has to come down. It has to come down from the full absorption, come down to upachara samadhi, excess concentration. But now the mind is very stable. so can see. Whenever any slight sensation arises, whatever you hear, you can hear sound, but he's fully aware. His mind, he knows, but no clinging, because the mind is very strong. Hmm? He smells whatever he sees, So he trains. So at that stage, he turns his attention and watch the six bases, eye, what the eye sees, and just seeing, no attachment, hearing, smell, taste, and all these bases. Then this is how one can turn one's attention to vipassana and watch feelings, any sensations. And but those who practice samatha vipassana, in the practice of samatha, then the mind calm you can use, and when the mind is calm, you turn to vipassana. There is the other method of meditation, of direct vipassana, without getting into jhanas, without getting into the absorption level, just get into the just ordinary momentary concentration, and develop vipassana, try to see. And so this one very painful. And you must be able to bear a lot of painful sensation, because vipassana, direct vipassana will have to experience a lot of pain, because pain is a very good friend to vipassana practices. Yes, because painful sensation is very sharp, very sharp stimulus. So the mind can pick up that stimulus very quickly. And so in fact, when your mind is sharp, when you sharpen your mind is clear, the pain becomes still sharper. Yes, when your mind is not sharp, the painful sensation also, you feel like just numbness like that. But when you go on sharpening your mind, just like one sharp pin poke sticking, very sharp. You look at it, you see it rise and fall, then it goes away. And then by watching this, from this you can see, by watching and observing carefully, keep your mind calm and just observe the mind, observe the thought, observe the state of your mind, observe the feeling, sensation. You will see everything. You can see them rising and falling, rising and falling. Even if your mind is already calm, you can turn your attention to your sensation, the feeling, whatever feelings there, you turn your attention there. Observe. And then you see how, very painful. And then fall down. The pain goes away. You are very happy. Don't cling to the happiness, because the next moment is going to shoot up still more painful. The rhythmic pain comes. Very painful. And you still watch. Very painful. And go down again. So you are watching painful, the sensation, rising, falling, there. The more you watch this, so those who are also practicing samatha, when you watch after some time, very tired, very painful, then you come to your breath and stay in samadhi and rest in samadhi, rest your mind in samadhi. And then after that, when you are ready, come out again and watch some more sensation. And so sometimes if there is no pain, you purposely pinch yourself. Or, move a little bit and you watch the sensation. So, This is broadly the practice of samatha and vipassana. And really, the basis of this practice, the basis of bhavana, according to the Noble Eightfold Path, the foundation of this, there are three path factors. When you want to cultivate your mind, three path factors are important to bear in mind. And what are the three path factors? The three path factors in the developing of meditation or culturing the mind, they are right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. These three things. And so you must apply some effort. You have some effort. Don't give up. Little bit of pain, Don't give up. Every day, determine. I will sit through. Whatever happens, never mind. Will sit through. And so when you have that determination, then you will make a breakthrough. Once you have made a breakthrough, then no more fear. Here, see? Because I know it, this pain will go off, never mind. Moment you have the nick of seeing, suddenly pain, and then it goes away. But don't cling to the painful sensation. See, when you have developed, that's why in Vipassana, you can, this special way of seeing, Vipassana, when you develop your mind and sharp, again you see, and you can cure certain sicknesses, certain incurable sicknesses. And you can, some of you have seen the book, The Dhamma Therapy, how in Burma, by observing these things, can cure tumors, can cure, what is this, sometimes some people have some cysts or something, Yes, ulcers. They just look at it, But it's very painful until suddenly bursts out and then the smell come out, and then you pass all the different color, green, all, and then no more already, free. The mind just like the laser beam, not X-ray, laser beam. If you strengthen your mind, concentrate and focus your attention, but not to be afraid, but not to cling. When the painful sensation, don't cling and say, now I will die, no, I will die, and then you pretend to die, and then, you get up. That is, no, see, this is why, when you cannot bear these things, then free your mind from that. Don't see too much, observe too much of the sensation. Come back again to your object of concentration and sharpen your mind again. And then again you, little by little, and then until your mind becomes very sharp, and then you beam, focus it. Right. Right effort. There are four kinds of effort. What are these four efforts? The effort to prevent unwholesome thoughts from arising in the mind. Then the effort to overcome unwholesome thoughts that has already arisen in the mind. Then there is the effort to maintain the good that is there, and to cultivate the good that is not there. These are the four kinds of effort. We will talk about these four kinds of effort again when we talk about the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay? Only remember that there are four kinds of effort. The effort to prevent, the effort to overcome, then the effort to maintain the good, and the effort to cultivate whatever good that is not there. Right mindfulness. Right mindfulness also, there are 4 foundations of right mindfulness. We will begin that and in the next class. Right concentration. We have talked about right concentration with regards to the jhana, with regards to the samadhi. Now, before we end up, there's one thing that you have to, very important to bear in mind when you develop your meditation, is that you have to observe what are the hindrances, what are the mental hindrances that blocks your concentration. And so far, after already a few days, you have been trying to see. Now, you should by now understand what the hindrances are. Do you know what the mental hindrances are? What are the hindrances that block your concentration, that you cannot concentrate? Luckily, there are only 5, But these 5 can combine together and form many more. But there are 5 mental hindrances. Now let us see what are these 5 mental hindrances. These are the 5 mental hindrances, or pancha nivarana. The first one is kama chanda, or sensual desire, sensuality. Whenever some sensual desire arises in the mind, then concentration, it hinders the concentration. Similarly, vyapada, aversion. There are different kinds of aversion. Sometimes anger arises because you could not get the pillow and wanted to bring down the pillow. We say no, so angry, so whole day cannot, whole sitting cannot concentrate. Or somebody else beside you, what you call try to break the knuckles. Who are those people? After a little while they try to break their knuckles. They make noise with the knuckles. And if you give rise a lot of aversion, one day when you come out, some people may really hit your knuckles. And so be very careful about making noise with your knuckles. And now, sometimes a very subtle aversion arises when you want to concentrate. You try to concentrate, then you cannot concentrate, and you get angry with yourself. You have aversion towards yourself, and then cannot concentrate. So first you must be able to see what are these hindrances. Then sloth and torpor of the mind. You want to concentrate, you want to focus, you want to bring your attention, and then your mind becomes blank. Just refuse to, You try to bring your attention to your breath, and then your mind goes out. And you bring once more, say hooray. Then after that, hooray, stop, no more working. He says, your mind apply for leave, and then, in Australia they say sticky leave, and okay, on strike, and goes, no more working. Then the next moment, as soon as the mind no more working, poof, drowsiness arises in the mind. You see how sloth and torpor in the mind. And then restlessness. Oh, many thoughts arise, many thoughts come up. Sometimes due to planning. Sometimes, when we read and then when we question, and a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas come up in the mind. And sometimes due to anger too can give a lot of thoughts. Sometimes, you have not done something, your duty, and then you've done something wrong, and you feel very guilty. Remorseful thoughts arise. And worries arise. These are all the conditions, restlessness. And then there is doubts because of the lack of wisdom, the lack of knowledge. the lack of experience, you have doubts. When something happens, you become very doubtful. Oh, is this the method or not? Is this the way I should do it or not? Huh? And when you have this doubt, then your concentration is hindered. Your mental development is hindered. You see? So these 5 mental hindrances should try to overcome. We will tell you in the next time how you overcome these 5 mental hindrances. When you can overcome this, at least temporarily you can control these 5 mental hindrances, then the 5 jhana factors arises. The 5 jhana factors arises. Vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata. The first jhana of all the 5 mental factors arises when these 5 mental hindrances are under control. You know how to overcome sensual desires? By the practice of mindfulness, sati, mindfulness. And also, if by practicing mindfulness it does not go, then have to think, loathsomeness of the body. Loathsomeness of the body. And then, vyapada, aversion. How to overcome aversion? By loving kindness, by metta. How to overcome sloth and torpor? By effort, making effort, mental effort. And then overcome udacha kukacha, restlessness. How? When the mind is restless, then you have to tie your mind in one place. In other words, develop your samadhi again and again, one-pointedness. Then you can overcome restless states of mind. Every time the mind a lot of thoughts, then you just take one object. And this object will, what object that you like most, if you always take your breath, then very quickly just focus your breath. Or sometimes some people like to do metta. They do the metta first, then they get into the concentration. Then they overcome the restlessness, and then come back again. Then, although we only teach you one method, but you must know, later on you must know how to use other means to get rid of your hindrances first. Then how to overcome doubts? By developing wisdom. This wisdom can be gained through experience. If not your own experience, then you can associate with people who have greater experience. Then in that way you'll be able to develop, you'll be able to gain confidence and be able to overcome your doubts. Okay, so much for the time being about Bhavana. Still, there are a lot more to talk about Bhavana. Yes, physical hindrances, when that is about physical culture. We are talking about mental culture, right? So we will talk about physical hindrances when we talk about physical culture. When we talk about mental culture, right, these things play important part. And when the mind is strong, body, pain, never mind. Little bit is pain, that pain. And when the mind, when one cultivates, and usually there are many good meditators, good teachers who have, developed their mind. Usually their body is very weak because in the process of developing their mind, many of them have gone to extremes, you see, and then, they spoil the body. There are very few who have wisdom, who develop with wisdom, and so they are strong, both body and mind. But many develop after, in the process of developing their mind, testing so much, the body become very weak. So what happens is that, when the body is painful, immediately they get into the concentration and then no more pain. Hmm? There are monks who can remain for years on the bed without any painful sensation. That the one who recently was cremated, Lompo Wang, and I met his doctor who operated his glaucoma. It's a very painful operation, and no anesthetic, and he just he got into into samadhi, and the doctor does not know whether he's operating a dead body or a living body. Just like that. Wow. Sometimes the doctor has to come and then measure and stick the heartbeat and all sorts of things and all the electrodes to see whether they're still alive or not. But he's still alive. He's still warm. And still there is another one, Ajahn Chah, who lives there. Oh, his body is just like that, coma. But the mind, the body is subject to sickness, subject to disease, subject to decay. But the mind, if the mind is strong, the mind can see the true nature of the body and don't cling, separate from the body. Then the mind is separated from the body. Occasionally, some of you, when you sit down, you may experience your mind going out in your body, looking at your body. Don't be afraid, because mind sometimes separates. And but you must come back again. Oh, this not jhana power, kasinas. Is that right? Kasinas. Develop all the mental powers here. And important thing is the paramis, the certain perfections, certain virtues. To be balanced. Otherwise, you get those powers, you do not know what to do with it. You start going killing birds and killing, and you become very destructive. That's why they still don't free their mind, because those who cling to those powers, and then what happens is they begin to develop craving for the power, and then they start to develop, people calm a lot, then they become crazy for fame, and then after that, their mind become deluded. Then they think that they are so and so, so and so, so and so. They think that they are this, they are that, they are God, they are Krishna, they are Maitreya, they are all sorts of things. Then this is what we call deluded. Already that teacher, that yogi has become deluded already. When they attain to jhana, if they die in jhana, they are born in the Brahmaloka. Either Rupa, those who get into the Rupa jhana, any one of these 4 Rupa jhanas, they will be born in Rupa Loka. Beyond these 4 jhanas, there are some more other jhanas, Arupa jhanas. We cannot talk about this tonight. And I think, I thought I mentioned to you that, because many people think that through meditation is dangerous and can become mad and all that. You just go and visit Tanjung Rambutan and go and ask the director there or the warden there how many has been admitted through meditation. You can find out for yourself. And how many of them have been admitted through excessive craving. You see, most of the cases, where most of the cases of mental disorder, which I have seen for myself through intensive meditation, they all already have some seeds of mental disorder. So it's a matter of time. So by meditating, it brings out quicker. It quickens the thing. Yes. This one, audience. Let our audience ask. Yes. Oh yeah, it's use the jhana. Why no? One man also, in Australia also, can just get into little while he can get and he can tell you.
what is happening at home. He just, you think and then he knows, can read. That is, yes, that is, yes. His sense, his mind. No? Okay, don't worry about all these things. Now, learn how to develop your mindfulness and concentration first, okay?